Hi, I'm Sarah Nelson. I'm medical writer and founder of Green Pen Solutions. And in this video, I'm going to tell you about my 5 pillars of medical writing. This is a framework that I use in all of my coaching and mentoring activities to explain all of the different facets that it means to be a successful medical writer. The first pillar is called technical writing. And this is really the nitty-gritty, the editorial details of how you write. Okay, medical writers have to have really excellent use of the English language, be able to use it well in written form. You need to be able to understand grammar and punctuation and how to use them correctly and consistently. And also you need to be able to vary your writing for different audiences. So writing for a specialist oncologist is very different to writing for a patient lay audience, for example. The second pillar is called scientific understanding. And this is essentially the ability to be able to understand usually clinical information. Okay, this will be data relating to clinical trials, in which drugs are tested, and being able to understand how those data are presented in clinical trial reports, for example, how they're analysed, so including some basic statistics, and also understanding, the therapy areas and health conditions for which these treatments that are tested in clinical trials are used. The third pillar is often overlooked a little in medical communications, but this one I've called agency skills because this describes all of the soft skills, if you like, that it takes to work within an agency environment. Very few projects are undertaken as an individual. You're often working as part of a team, and that means that you have to have great communication skills. You need to have flexibility. You need to be able to manage your time, but then understanding that you're only one part of the process. So being able to manage your time in order that the whole team can meet their deadline. And then as you progress up the medical writing career ladder, agency skills can encompass things like management skills and leadership skills. The fourth pillar I've called storytelling, because this is essentially being able to use the right structure for your writing in order to get a scientific story across to the audience. And it's being able to understand that different materials have a different flow, story flow. So a publication, for example, would have a very different story flow to a newsletter or a press release. Storytelling also includes the way in which you tell your story. So medical writers are not only dealing with words, often we're dealing with visual representation of the data as well. So we need to be able to use PowerPoint, a bit of a creative input into how we present the data, and indeed how clinical data are presented visually in terms of data visualization. The last pillar is I've called strategic thinking, and at the very basic level this is thinking about the end user. If you're creating a PowerPoint presentation or if you're creating a publication, it's always thinking about that bigger picture. Who's going to look at this document? Who's going to be my audience? And what information would they like to take from it? What behavior change am I hoping to achieve with this piece? Okay, and it's that sort of big picture thinking that's really important to include in your medical writing career right from day one. As you create advance along the career ladder, there are different things that will come in under this strategic thinking umbrella. Things like having an in-depth knowledge of industry guidelines and regulations, like good publication practice. And also you may be exposed to things like brand planning or publications planning, which are more strategic in nature. Okay, so that's a quick run through of my 5 pillars of medical writing. If you'd like to know more about how I use these in my coaching and training and mentoring with medical writers, please get in touch today.